Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over the first week and a half-ish of April sales on Poshmark. So there was a few days at the end of one week and then a full week of April sales that we're going to go through April 1st through the 9th. And April's starting off to be a really good month. It's keeping on track with where March sales were, and I'm excited to see where April will take us. But if you haven't seen my March month wrap up and the second half of sales video, I'm going to list it somewhere up here so you guys can go and check it out. But let's find out what sold for me the first week of April. I did want to mention that if you are new here, my name is Kami and I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, which means that I go to thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales, all types of places, and I pick up clothing that resells well on Poshmark, which is an online platform very similar to eBay, where people can buy pre-owned and new clothing, shoes, and accessories. If you are not signed up for Poshmark, but that sounds like something you'd want to do, it's completely free to sign up, and there are lots of goodies on there, including the stuff that I have listed. So if you would like to use the code that I'm going to put right here, you get $10 off your first purchase when you sign up and make that purchase. And then I also get $10 of credit to use. So I also have my Poshmark closet linked down below that we can go and see if there are any good finds that you want for yourself. Make sure to bundle them and send me a message or comment on there that you saw my video, and I will make sure to give you an awesome deal. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the sales. I will have a screenshot like normal here that will have a picture of the item. So we are going to start off with April 1st. I sold 4 items and 2 of those was in a bundle. So that 2-item bundle consisted of this Columbia Western vintage jacket. It was like a fleece full zip jacket. I purchased that at a garage sale and it sold in 124 days. Also this A New Day, which is a Target brand white and gray knit cardigan. I got that for free out of a box from a neighbor on Nextdoor. That sold in 74 days. So in total, those 2 items sold for $30. My cost of goods between the two was $1.50. So my profit on those 2 items was $22.50. I did wish that the Columbia jacket went for a little bit more just because it definitely was a really unique and like trendy pattern. But like I said, I had it for over 170 days, so I was ready to get rid of it. Then I sold this Patagonia Pink Baby Micro D jacket. Now this was so cute. It was in excellent condition. My husband actually found it at the bins. I will try to find the video and link it up here. He went with us that day and we were able to find that little baby super cute Patagonia jacket. That ended up selling for $25. My cost of goods was only 79 cents at the bins, which is the Goodwill outlet. If you're unfamiliar, it's basically where you dig through bins and you find clothing and hard goods and shoes and you pay by the pound. So my profit ended up being $19.21 on that item, and it took 3 days to sell, so a really quick flip. Then the last item I sold on the 1st was this pair of Gymshark pink seamless leggings. I recently found those at a Red Rack store, which is a disabled American veterans thrift store. And they sold for $25 with a shipping discount. Now that they rolled out the $1.50 off shipping discount that you can offer, I always offer that unless it's a really higher priced item. So did give a $1.50 shipping discount on that. My cost of goods was $6.99. This item was just sitting just right out in the front of the aisle, and it was just waiting for me to grab it. So I picked it up. My profit ended up being $11.51, and it was also a quick flip. It sold in 2 days. On April 2nd, I sold 6 items, and 4 of those items was in one bundle. So that 4-item bundle consisted of this chic black velvet slip. It was free. I picked up a bunch of stuff from someone who had garage sale leftovers and was just giving me all of the clothes. That sold in 6 days. Also this chic black polka dot slip. That again was from the garage sale leftovers lot that I picked up. And so it was also free and sold in 6 days. Then this Kato short sleeve Aztec cardigan, that was my own. I think at some point I purchased it at a garage sale, I think, but I had worn it once or twice. So that was no cost of goods free, and it sold in 134 days. And then the final item was this Lane Bryant black and white embroidered linen kind of cardigan. It was not full sleeve, it's probably about half sleeve length, that I got at a Goodwill, and it took 165 days to sell. So those 4 items sold for $50. My cost of goods was only $4.90. And so my profit ended up being $35.10 from all 4 of those items. The next item that sold on the 2nd was a new brand to me. I picked up only 3 items from this brand. It is Zaya, something like that. It is kind of a multi-level marketing clothing brand, similar to LuLaRoe, but it is a higher quality workout brand. So this was an orange Havana tank top that I found at Goodwill. It sold for $20 along with a $1.50 shipping discount. My cost of goods was $2.99, and so my profit ended up being $11.51, and it sold really quickly in 5 days. It got a lot of attention when I posted it, as have the other 2 items. I think I already sold one, or I listed one, and then I just sold my other item by this brand today, so you'll see that on a future like what sold video. And then the last item that sold on the 2nd was this North Face off-white tan pair of shorts. These sold for $18. I did have them down all the way to $10, and I relisted them, and a few days after I relisted them, they sold. So my cost of goods was only 70 cents at the bins, and my profit ended up being $13.70, and they sold in 199 days. So definitely took some time, but makes sense that it sold around this season because they are shorts and we're going into spring and summer. April 3rd, I sold 2 items. First being this Spanx tan bra. It was seamless. I don't think it had any wiring in it, but I do love to pick up the Spanx brand, and I found this bra. I hadn't ever sold any bras or corsets before. I've only sold, I think, leggings. And so this sold for $14. My cost of goods was only $1. I purchased it from a local animal thrift store where they rescue animals, and all their proceeds from that thrift store go to their rescue. And so my profit ended up being $10.05, and it sold in 18 days. I also sold this pair of Teva men's black strap sandals. They sold for $23. My cost of goods was only 65 cents at the Goodwill bins, and so my profit ended up being $17.75, and they sold in 54 days. April 4th, I sold 4 items. I sold this Torrid Bermuda denim pair of shorts. They sold for $22, and they sold, I think, within like 20-30 minutes of me listing them at full price. I don't know if someone was just looking for that specific style, because with Torrid, I do try to put the style number in my description, but they sold full price for $22. My cost of goods was $4.25 at a consignment store, and so my profit ended up being $13.35, and like I said, it sold same day within an hour. Then I sold this pair of Puma pink black pants. They sold for $10. I was just wanting to get rid of them. I've had them for quite a while. They sold for, like I said, $10. My cost of goods was only 72 cents, and I purchased them at a garage sale. So my profit ended up being $6.33, and it took 200 days to sell. So I was happy to see those go. As well as this Lane Bryant black linen cardigan. I got it at the same time, same Goodwill that I purchased the previous cardigan that I spoke about. That sold for $11. My cost of goods was $3.90 at a Goodwill. So my profit ended up being $4.15 and took 167 days to sell. Then the last thing that sold on the 4th was this 7, like spelled out 7 and then number 7, gray rainbow pom-pom sweater. So cute. I tried it on and it was just a little too tight for me. So I decided to go ahead and list it. It sold for my full asking price of $20. My cost of goods was only $0. It was free. Again, it was part of that garage sale pickup lot. And so my profit ended up being $16, and it sold in 14 days. So 2 weeks. I thought that was really good. April April 5th, I sold one item. It was this pair of Torrid red bow flats. They sold for $15. My cost of goods was only $4 at a thrift store that we visited in Kansas City. And so my profit ended up being $8 and it took 64 days to sell. April 6th, I had no sales. And so on April 7th, I did have 2 sales. I sold this pair of Sperry black slip-on loafers. I also picked these up and did a haul video on them, kind of comparing my different sourcing places. And so I will link that video up here somewhere. They sold for $20. My cost of goods was only $1 at this consignment store. They still had the Nordstrom sticker on the bottom. They were brand new. And so my profit ended up being $15 and they sold in one day. They sold the next day after I listed them. And on the 7th, I sold this Marmot Men's Red Mountain graphic t-shirt. It sold for $11. My cost of goods was only $1 at that same consignment store, just a different day. And so my profit ended up being $7.05 and sold in 109 days. April 8th, I sold 6 items. First was this LL Bean pair of new pink Favorite Fit shorts. They sold for $15. My cost of goods was $4.34 at a Goodwill, and so my profit ended up being $7.66. They sold in 129 days. I also sold this pair of George, which is just a Walmart brand pair of Hawaiian print swim trunks. They sold for $10. Again, my cost of goods was $0. This was in that lot of garage sale pickup, so a lot of things sold this week from that lot. So my profit ended up being $7.05 and they took 18 days to sell. I also sold this pair of Body Glove black yellow toe shoes. I think there's a name for them. I may have put it in the title, but they're like where you just stick them in and each toe is like separated in the shoe. So they sold for $12. My cost of goods was 43 cents at a garage sale. At garage sales, I like to take however much I spend that day divided by the amount of items that I picked up, and then that gives me my average cost of goods. My profit was $8.62, and they sold in 190 days. I also sold this pair of Nike blue men's shorts. I believe they were a type of training short. They sold for $10. My cost of goods was $0 because these were actually a pair of my husband's shorts that he did not want anymore. So my profit was $7.05 and they sold in 15 days. Then I sold this Athleta gray Heathered Powerlux Revelation pair of pants. They sold for $12. They definitely sold for a lot less because someone had actually asked for measurements, and when I got them out, I realized something that I did not see when I originally took pictures. They had a severe pilling in the thigh area. So I definitely lowered them and sold them a little bit cheaper than I normally would other Athleta items. So my cost of goods was $3.59 at a Goodwill. My profit was still $5.46. They sold in 78 days. And I definitely check. I don't know why I didn't check on this pair, or maybe I did and I didn't notice it, but I normally check. And if it does have pilling in the thigh area, I usually pass on those items. The last thing that sold on April 8th was this pair of Tom's striped flat slip-ons. They sold for $15. My cost of goods was only $3 at a Fort Smith, Arkansas thrift store. I will also link that haul up here. I just recently posted that haul. And so my profit was $9 and it sold in one day, the very next day after I listed it. The last day that we'll be looking at for sales is April 9th, where I also sold 6 items. First was this Columbia gray and green color block fleece jacket. It was a men's size 5X, and unfortunately on Poshmark women's, they go up to a 5X in sizing, like automatic filtered sizing you can put on your listing. With men's, they only go up to a 3X. So I was kind of worried about this selling, but it sold for $21 with a $1.50 shipping discount. My cost of goods was only $3.59 at a Goodwill. And so my profit was still $11.71. It did take a little bit longer. I do think part of it was that you couldn't filter for that size, but they sold in 82 days, so still not too bad within 3 months. I also sold this Victoria's Secret orange and navy print bathing suit set that sold for $12. My cost of goods was $65. I mean, like I'd pay $65 for this. My cost of goods was 65 cents, and I purchased it at a garage sale, and my profit ended up being $8.40. It took 123 days to sell. I also sold this pair of Disney Lauren Conrad collab pair of shorts. They were blue and white polka dot print, and they had a really cute bow on the front of them. They sold for $20. My cost of goods was actually free. I was with my mom, and I only found this one item. She had found some other items at Goodwill, and so she just lumped it together in her purchase and actually just gave it to me and didn't want me to pay her back. So thanks, Mom. My profit ended up being $16, and so they sold in 9 days, which was a really quick flip. I think being a Disney collab really helped them sell quickly, and of course we're coming into spring and summer, so someone will definitely get some use out of those. I also sold this Logo by Lori Goldstein blue animal print tank top. I believe it was the Layers line of Lori Goldstein's brand, but it sold for $15. It was really cute. It was like a tank top, but at the bottom it had like a pleated kind of section around the hem. Super cute. Like I said, they sold for $15. My cost of goods was $4 at a Goodwill, and so my profit was $8, but I was really happy with that because they only took 4 days to sell, so really quick flip. I also sold this Nike new men's black training jacket. Now, I purchased this at Ross or maybe Marshall's, one of the two in my town. They're right next to each other. I actually purchased this for my husband, but he ended up not wanting it, so it was new with tags. I associated just a $0 cost of goods because we did have it for a while and my husband thought he might wear it, but then he ended up not. So it sold for my full asking price of $35, so my profit ended up being $28, and it took 8 days to sell. And then the last item that sold for this sales video on the 9th was this Torrid black cream Chinese tiger baseball tee shirt. It sold for $13. My cost of goods was $1.05. It had some Chinese print and like writing on it. I had no idea what it said, but my profit ended up being $9, and it took 190 days to sell. I love Torrid. It's my bread and butter brand. As you can see, I sold a few Torrid items, I believe, in here, but usually a week doesn't go by without me selling something Torrid, and it's one of my favorite brands to personally wear as well. So in total, from the 1st through the 9th of April, I sold 32 items. My gross sales was $524, which was about a $16.38 average sales price per item. When you take out my cost of goods, any shipping discounts I provided, and the Poshmark fee associated with that sale, my net profit was $345.17, which equaled out to an average net profit per item of $10.79. Like I said, my sales for the first week and a half of April were really on trend with how March went, and March was my best month to date. So I am hoping I have a really good month, but we actually our house is under contract for sale right now, and so we're actually moving up our date to move out because of the time that the buyer needs to be closing on the house. So it is about to be a very busy next month or so. So I may not have too many videos or as many videos as I normally put out each week, but I have a few that I've already filmed, so they'll be coming out soon. I have a collaboration video that's going to be coming out in a few days, so keep your eye out for that. I will try to premiere it on that day that we go ahead and push it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up when you leave. It's completely free, takes like 2 seconds, and it really helps me out to let me know that you guys like to see these type of videos. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great start to your April as far as sales, wherever you're selling, whatever platform you're selling on, and I hope to see you in my next video.